Alright guys, so if you're wondering why I look a little bit like a lumberjack this morning, it's because I am going to be a little bit of a lumberjack this morning. That's why I have the plaid shirt going on and stuff, because it's time for DIY on now. No, we are on the final stage, well, the final stage on set for the coffee table that I've been working on for the past few weeks. So today we're going to put in the final pieces, which is the top, and from there, offset on my own time, I'm going to sand this up and stain it, so you could finally see what it looks like. I'll take a picture, or probably get some footage done so you can see what the final product looks like. But when it comes to construction, today is the final part, so pay close attention so you could see how to get that done. For those of you who have actually been building and following, I hope you got up to this point. If not, you could always check back on Facebook and check for the past, three so far Thursdays DIY segments, and you would see how to get to this point and get your coffee table done on your own. And you know what? It's not very expensive. When you go to your local hardware store, you can get the lumber, you can get the material as well, and make yourself a nice coffee table. All right, so let's get into it. What you're going to need are 5 pieces. So I cut these beforehand. I did quite a bit of work beforehand just because of the time limit here. So 5 pieces. These are 45.5 inches in length. All right, this again is the 1x4 that you would get at your local hardware store. I already put in 2 of the pieces just so that this thing could be stable and I don't have too much to do. The materials you're going to need to get to this point, you're going to need a power drill. All right, if we could see that somewhere, where are we? All right, we're going to need a power drill here. So this is what I use to make my pilot holes. You're going to need a power screwdriver, or handheld screwdriver is fine as well. You're going to need a rubber mallet. This is in case the pieces are hard to fit inside. You could use a little force. What I would recommend though is that you have a scrap piece of wood to place on the object that you're going to pound into before actually hitting it, so that you don't have the instance of damaging your lumber. You're going to need some screws as well. Those could be anywhere from 1.5 to 2 inches in length, because they're going down into the depth of this brace over here. And then you're going to need tape, and as well as something to mark your spots. Now, I've done quite a bit of this beforehand. So as I said, I made my pilot holes already. I'm going to line up my boards, and finally, then we're going to screw them in, and we're going to be finished with this coffee table. Again, later on, I'm going to sand, stain, and you'll see a picture, or hopefully a little video footage of what the final thing looks like. But that can be done on set, obviously, because it's way too messy. So we'll do that offset, and I'll show you what the final product looks like. All right, so let's get into it. We have these boards here. I said 45.5 inches. The reason they're 45.5 inches is because it is the length of the baseboards. Remember this bottom shelf here. So let's take our tape and just get a little reminder of what this is at. So these were at about 41.5, and then you have to add the width of these legs as well. So you have to add the width of the legs on 2 sides, so that you get the final number here. And the final number, as I said earlier, 45.5 inches in total. All right, so I'm going to place my boards. I lined up the end boards first. All right, so again, you go corner to corner, and you ensure that they're lined up and flush with your legs. If they are not lined up properly, line up one side, get them in, and then what you do is you pretty much force the legs into the position so that they all line up properly. All right, here we go. Excuse here, these are a little bit too long. Let me just make sure I have the right length of screws. There we go. Those listening on Talk City 91.1 FM, what I'm doing right now, I lined up my boards. Again, the brace boards are on the ends already. I did that beforehand. And now I just lined them up with my pre-drilled pilot holes. You need to put some force down on this to ensure that your board doesn't shift while you're working. And drive. You want to do the same on the other side. You go left and right, one at a time, instead of trying to do all the boards on one side followed by the other, because you may have misalignment. Little slippage there. again, safety first. So you never know what could happen. Ensure that you have your gloves, which just protected my hands from that slippage there. And ensure you have your eyewear as well. I want to say a special good morning and thank you to Dr. Amanath, who actually gifted me these wonderful gloves that I've been using ever since, making my life a little easier and safer. All right. Again, so I've lined up my other board, pilot holes drilled already. Just going to drive this. Now, sometimes you may have a little misalignment when you are putting on your top because of slight warps in your lumbar. So there may sometimes be the need to be a little creative when it comes to getting things back aligned. This is not the case now, but it did happen to me yesterday while I was preparing this. So you may sometimes need to apply some force and actually pull the piece in opposing directions depending on how it's twisted to get it to adhere to where you want to go. Finally, we have this board, and this is why I have my rubber mallet. So a little force pops right in, because this is pretty flush, and you align it as is necessary. And finally, drive your last 2 screws in, and we'll be at the end of this project. That's one. Final screw there. And then all you'll need for this coffee table is some coffee. And there we have it, guys. This is part number 4, fourth and final part of the coffee table DIY project. All right, here we are. It's not to sit on, so we'll just take a look at it and admire. Again, final sanding will happen to this. Final sanding, final staining, and I'll decide what stain I'm going to go with. But this is your coffee table, guys, and this has been DIY on Now. All right, so thank you for viewing. Again, check back on Facebook for all parts of this, and you know, on Saturdays you may even see a compilation of the entire thing to get this going. So for now, we're going to take a short break and come back. Stay with us.